Hey there, this is Laws and welcome back to my channel for another new video. In today's video, I'll be doing a sharing of my PvP skill build and I want to do a quick shout out to Muhammad Fiki. Muhammad Fiki, I saw your comment in one of my KVM video. You're saying that you're having some difficulty with your skill build and you would like me to do a sharing of my PvP skill build. So yep, this is the video for you, and also for anyone that is watching this video right now, if let's say you are having some concerns in terms of how you should play your skill or palm your skill for PvP, take a reference from what I have and then do whatever adjustment that you need afterwards to suit your own playstyle, right? So this is what I have over here. Let's look at High Wizard first, right? I have 5 skills in the High Wizard skill classes, skill class, sorry. So first thing first, I will palm is the buff, right? The buff gives us at max level plus 10% of measure attack to all party members for 30 seconds. Right, but of course, to take note that this skill has a very long cooldown if you do not have enough haste to support it, right? The variable cooldown is 40 seconds and the fixed cooldown is 20 seconds. So the best that we can do is to reduce the variable cooldowns as much as possible. So for me, I'm able to reduce it by 31.2 seconds. So that leaves me with 8.8 seconds of variable cooldown plus a fixed cooldown of 20 seconds. So in total, I have about, let's say, 28 seconds of cooldown. So I am fully sufficient of having this buff up permanently. If let's say the situation give me or allows me to do so, right? Because I have a cooldown of 28 seconds and this skill lasts for 30 seconds. So I'm more than ready when this buff is gone, right? So this is the first buff that I will get. And then gravitational field. This is a bread and butter skill for the wizard in PvP, right? So this skill deals not just damage, a good amount of damage, but also inflict stun. So a 30% chance to stun the enemy for 2 seconds. And if let's say the target was not stunned, it will slow them by 40 seconds for 4 seconds. So this skill is just too good not to palm it. You must palm, whether you are a shield build or you are two-handed build. If you are two-handed build, this is something that you can easily max it out, right? So this skill has a variable cooldown again at 20 seconds, a fixed cooldown at 4 seconds, and then a variable channeling for 6 seconds. So this skill has all in one. The variable cooldowns, the variable channeling, and then the fixed cooldown. So again, if your haste is not high enough to support it to max, get it to whatever level you can have. Let's say I were to put it here. This is 10 and this is 9. So if let's say you are able to get it to 7, it needs 4.2 seconds of channeling time with a variable cooldown of 20 seconds and a fixed cooldown of 4 seconds. So in total, your cooldown is 24 seconds, and then the channeling is 4.2. For me, I'm able to get it up to level 10 because I have high enough haste to support it. So it reduces my variable cooldown to 0. So I only need to wait for the skill to cool down in 4 seconds, and my variable channeling is down to 0 because this skill has another fixed channeling at 1.2 seconds. So all in all, for me to cast this skill is pretty quick. I just need 1.2 seconds to cast, and I just need to wait for 4 seconds for me to cast again, right? And it gives me a 30% stun, 40% slow, and dealing a good amount of damage, right? And then now next, this is I need to emphasize again, this is a bread and butter, another bread and butter skill for high wizard in PvP. So if you can, max it, just max it, no questions asked. All right, so next is Abyssal Swamp. So this skill is a really good skill as well. Of course, depending on how you want to play the game, because this skill deals no damage. Again, this skill deals no damage, but it has a status of reducing movement speed and attack speed by 50% at level 10. It will last for 7 seconds, and it has a chance to change the opponent's armor to earth with a 30% chance. So if let's say you have a fire skill in your gameplay, which I don't have right now, I used to have changing opponent's armor to earth, and you cast maybe Meteor Storm, Fire Pillar, or even Firebolt, it will deal extra damage. So we all know that for fire to deal damage on earth, it is 150%. But of course, in PvP, the damage is slightly adjusted. So, but again, it still deals a fair amount of damage if let's say you have fire skill in your build. But for me, this is more of a CC skill. I use it to slow down the opponents so that I can cast my other skills that requires channeling, and also to help my teammates to catch opponents, and also to secure kills and deal damage while the opponent is just, I would say, almost stuck on the spot, as they could not move too fast when this skill is activated, and they are affected by it by 50%. 50% is a lot, right? So this skill is good to have, highly recommended, right? So depending on your gameplay, whether you need this or not, you can do adjustments, swap it in and out, right? Okay, next is Earth Spike. Earth Spike is a area damage AoE skill that deals the surrounding of your character. So your character is the center, and this skill deals surrounding. So pretty similar to Firewall, when cast around the wizard. So same thing, Earth Spike does the same fashion. This skill deals damage and also a 35% chance to stun. Well, I'm at level 5, so it deals 35%. So if let's say at level 10, it deals 50% chance to stun the target for 3 seconds. So for these skills, it has a higher requirement of variable cooldown at max level. At this point, I did not get it at max because I want this skill to be always ready for me to cast. So if let's say I go to get it at level 10, I have another 8 seconds plus 4 seconds, so a 12 seconds cooldown before I can cast again. So this skill is a defensive skill, so when you as a wizard are being closed out by melee, like the knights, the assassins, the smith, so this skill will help you to deal stun and also to damage them, for you to safely maybe cast Firewall to create some distance, or for you to escape while they are being stunned for 3 seconds. So this is for me, I want it to be always ready. So having no variable cooldown is the best for me because it has a fixed cooldown of 4 seconds. So upon casting, I will still need to wait for 4 seconds to be able to cast again. So if let's say in between that, I've been close up game without any other supporting skills, I will take a lot of damage for a wizard. Right? So this skill to me is a must-have for defensive purposes. Right? Next, I have Chain Lightning. Now, Chain Lightning is a skill that I've been testing. Of course, I have other supporting skills in the past, like the bolts. Right before the update, level 5 bolts has no channeling time, so you can just spam it. But in the later updated version, we do have 1 second of channeling time, irregardless of level. Right, so not that effective in terms of fast gameplay. If let's say you want to have skills dishing out in rotation, so you don't have any downtime, right? But of course, if you are able to get a deal on the bolts, it can do a very high damage, if let's say that's what you want, right? But for me, this is currently what I have. Chain Lightning and max, relatively easy to max it for me, dealing damage. If let's say there's a crowd, there's a group, it will bounce and hit them up to 7 times. But if let's say you are able to deal this skill to one single target, be sure the damage is very good, very nice. Even at my level, I don't have any crazy gear. This skill can deal 21k damage, right? It's very good. So to me, maxing this out is a very good choice for me. Having no variable cooldown, again, there's a 4 seconds cooldown after cast, but there's no problem for me because after my rotation of a sequence of skills, Chain Lightning is back to ready for me to cast, right? So in the High Wizard skill chart, I only have Chain Lightning, Earth Spike, Magic Power, Abyssal Swamp, and Gravitational Field. Yes, some people will pump Safety Wall, but for me, I will not do that because for my gameplay, I try not to stay in one spot for too long because unless I need to, otherwise I will be moving around while I'm casting my skill. So if you see my video, you probably see my wizard casting 1 or 2 skills, and I will move around to adjust my position, adjust my angle, my camera view for me to cast a skill again, to have a better control over the gameplay, either to deal damage, to lock someone, or to help my teammate to crowd control, right? So I don't know, I would say High Wizard in PvP is a mixture of a support and also a damage dealer, right? If played well, it can be very deadly. So I don't have the gold skills. This is something that I have yet to try, but I think in the future I might. I do have some plan, but as of now, no. Okay, so let's jump to the wizard build, wizard skill tree. So wizard skill tree is self-explanatory because these skills are actually what we have in the earlier stage. So I have it at level 10 of Lord of Vermilion, also in short LOV. So this is a damage plus kind of a CC skill, I would say, because it can cast blind on enemy. So when you are blinded, the only thing you can see is your character, and the rest of the screen is black. That's where you are blinded. You can't see anything, and you are probably being blind. That's what they want, right? So there's a very, very good chance of getting blind, 40%. So just imagine you are being stunned, you're being slowed, and you're being blind. In a PvP setup, it can be very, very deadly, right? So this is a AoE skill. Getting it to level 10 is no issue, right? For most wizard, or even for you, Momafiki, getting this to level 10 shouldn't be a problem, I assume, because this is what we can get it at level 10 at a very early stage of the game, right? And then Jupiter Thunder, some players use this to do a knockback or push away of enemy when they are too close. But for me, I rarely use this, or actually I don't use this. I just get it to level 5 to unlock LOV and then to unlock Chain Lightning. So to me, creating distance, yes, it is important for Wizard, but to me, I just feel Jupiter Thunder is a little bit too far for me. Right? This is my playstyle. So if you like to create the distance as far as you can, Jupiter Thunder is a very good choice of skill. Preferably do it in manual, cast it in manual so that you don't waste the chance of casting it when you really, really need to, right? Okay, and then next is Sight. Sight is, I would say, it's not a very popular skill that I've seen, right, in most of the gameplay that the wizards are in PvP. But for me, it is an incredible skill to have. Just level 1 will do. You don't need much. This skill serves few purposes. Number 1, of course it deal damage, but don't rely on the damage that Sight can deal. That's not the main purpose of this skill, right? This skill mainly reveals nearby enemy units who are hiding for 10 seconds. So in PvP, the class that can hide is Assassin. So it is very crucial to what I always call, I smoke them out using Sight, because usually when the game starts, Assassin will go into hiding and then run to your base and try to assassinate either the wizard or your priest. So if you're able to cast Sight in prior to their approach, when the assassin is near enough, you are able to see the outline or the silhouette of the assassin, and from there you're able to cast skills to CC, you can cast skill to damage, and it allows your teammate to see that the assassin is right within the group, and then they can also help to knock it down, take down the assassin as fast as possible. Because if the class like wizard or priest, if let's say we are not tanky enough, assassins can pretty much take us out in one skill, which is assassination, or any higher skills that they have in the third job, right? So Sight is to me, is a very important skill, and also a skill that is good to have, so they can switch in whenever you need to, or you want it to be permanently there, because it serves another purpose. Upon casting Sight, you can reactivate the skill again to launch Sight Thrasher to knock back nearby enemy units and then stun them for 2 seconds. So this skill serves 2 purposes. One is to reveal enemy, and 2 to knock back. Okay, 3 purposes, I would say. 2 to knock back, and 3 stun them. And this is a 100% stun. if your opponent don't have any stun resistance or they have a very low stun resistance, getting hit by sight will stun them immediately and creating that knockback, creating that distance that you need to maybe cast other skills, because since they are stunned, you can take on that opportunity to deal damage and or to further control them on the spot. Right, so this skill, I love it a lot. I use it quite often or very often, right, in conjunction with Abyssal Swarm. So Abyssal Swarm and Sight, these two skills I will interchange accordingly depending on my opponent, right, and also depending on whether I feel that this game need Sight or not, right? So that's for Sight. Next is Frost Nova. Again, Frost Nova in short is exactly the same as Earth Spike, just that this deals stun. Frost Nova freezes the enemy. So Frost Nova at next level, which is what I have, has a 60% chance to freeze enemy for 3 seconds. And then change their armor attribute to water and reduce their magic defense by 20%. So if this skill hits, you get frozen, your armor will change to water. So now you see the combination where I have the wind skill to deal more damage on frozen targets. Of course, something to take note, frozen targets by Frost Nova, the freeze will be deactivated, or the freeze will be broken upon taking damage. But of course, after that, their armor attribute will still persist for another 3 seconds, so you can still deal damage, deal wind damage, preferably if you can, onto their water armor, so they have extra boost of damage. Or if you need if you need some space or you need to run away from danger, if this chance proc and they are frozen, you can just run away for 3 seconds. You have 3 seconds to run away, right? And then, so this skill, usually I will use it in conjunction with a Spike. So Spike first, then Nova, because these two has a percentage of success, so it's not 100%. I have two to back them up, to back up each other, right? Okay, then next is Energy Code, right? Energy Code is a very good skill to have in times of emergency that you need some tankiness, right? Because this reduces physical damage received by 40%. Because we are very weak against physical damage dealer, so all the melees are actually doing a lot of damage to us because our defense is naturally low, so we are very weak against them. So having this skill is a pretty handy one. So in the tight situation, you need an additional boost of defense against physical damage, you can click this. So I usually put this in manual. In the past, I put it in auto, but it's kind of waste. So right now, I have it in manual. So when in times of need, I'll just click it, right? And then next I have a Storm Gust, the bread and butter skill for slow and CC to freeze people. So it needs 3 stacks to freeze the enemy for 3 seconds. But the good thing is, once frozen and upon taking damage, the freeze will not be broken. So it will last for 3 seconds, a good 3 seconds, unless your opponent has freeze resist. So that will actually reduce the amount of time that is being frozen. So this is a bread and butter skill for all wizards. If let's say you want to be a CC build like me, right? And then what do I have? Soul Drain, just level 1 will do, just for the extra SP and also adding some major attack to your total M attack. right? And then next will be the mage skill tree. Frost Driver is a must to have because it deals 100% freeze to enemy for 3 seconds. And then again changes the armor to water and also reducing their M defense by 20%. So this is a one-hit wonder. If your opponent doesn't have any freeze resist, it will be frozen. Except for Whitesmith, who is on card. So if you are seeing a Whitesmith zooming around, riding on their card, don't waste the skill because they are immune to CC, any form of CC, slow, stun, freeze. So don't bother. You can't do much. You can't do anything. They'll be just zooming around until they finish the skill. So otherwise, this skill is a very good skill to catch people. So if let's say you are on a run to either to run away or you're catching someone that is running away, this skill is a very good skill to catch people if they don't have any freeze resist, right? Cold Bolt, I just use it to unlock Frost and then the skills after, so I don't use this. SP Recovery level 5 will do. That's for me because I feel that this is just enough for me. In the future, if I have enough skills point, I'll probably get it to max. So let's see. Firewall is another skill that helps to create that distance that you need away from melee characters. So this will actually help you to bounce them off, and allowing you to have space and time to do casting, because most of the skills that we have need time to cast. There's channeling of 2.5 seconds, there's channeling of 1.2. So having that space actually helps you to cast better. You can have a more defensive position to do the casting, or otherwise it'll be a very good skill for you to have when you're being closed up and you need to create that space instantly. Get a firewall up and you have that space, depending on whether they have any resistance to it or not, right? But if not, you will have that space. You can do casting, you can run away, you can help to deal damage. So this skill is a very good skill to have. I max it. In the past I have level 5, but right now I max it. And then Fireball, I don't use it also, I just use it to unlock my firewall. So yeah, pretty simple. This is my skill build. I don't have Meteor Storm. I used to have, I tried Meteor Storm, but it's not that suitable for my style, because casting Meteor Storm requires me to stay put at that spot for a good 3 seconds to cast finish the skill. I cannot move, I cannot cancel the skill, I cannot do anything until the skill is over. But having said that, Meteor Storm deals a good amount of damage and it has chance to stun. So High Wizard has a lot of stun. It's a stunning game, so it's a very very good class to have in PvP, because they are probably the only most effective, I would say, most effective class to crowd control a group of people. If let's say you are able to crowd control 5, I have experienced before that once I catch hold of them, if let's say they're in a group, I can pretty much permanently put them on the spot, not allowing them to move at all until the game is over. It happens, right? So this is why most people will want to target Wizard first if they can, because we are pretty much squishy if we don't have enough defense and also high HP. Otherwise, once we are able to catch hold of the opponent, although we need the cast, we need time to cast, but the effect of it allow us to actually rotate and then do the casting over and over again, locking down the opponent on the spot, right? So now for the arrangement of the skills that I have, this is what I will do. First, I will do the buff. So I have custom skills, so you can see over here that I have the buff and also the CC. So on the custom skills for buff, right now I have my Amplify Magic Power plus Frost Driver. So at the start of the game, this will be on auto. So this skill is on auto. Actually, both skills are on auto. So this is how it looks like. So my buff will be here. So my right side is mainly auto skills, except for my energy code. I will put it at the last so that I can change, and then I will spam it if let's say I need. Right, so the first skill that I put it on auto is this Amplify Magic Power and Frost Driver. So at the start of the game, my buff will be activated. So one buff activating is good enough. Otherwise, if let's say there's too many buffs going on in the middle of your fight, it can be very interruptive. So if let's say you are trying to lock down the player and suddenly your buff kick in, it can interrupt and it breaks the chain. So it happens a lot of times to me, and I've been trying to avoid that as much as possible depending on the gameplay situation. But right now this is what I'm doing. This is what I have. Not perfect, but I'm still testing it. But I feel that this is good enough, right? So the first skill is this, and then the next one is Abyssal Swamp. So either this or Sight. So these are the two skills that I will interchange. If let's say I see that my opponent has Assassin, I will swap it around and put it on auto as well. So it's either this or Abyssal Swamp to slow, or Sight to reveal Assassin and also the cast stun when I need. Okay, and then the next skill is this, my custom skill that involves Firewall, Earth's Fight, and Frost Nova. So these three combination is for me to crowd control, to CC, and to create space when I am being closed out by melee. So this is another skill that I put on auto. So I have 3 skills on auto, this on manual. Okay, and then next is for the left side. This left side is my manual skills. So what I will do is I have my Chain Lightning on the first one, and then I have my Gravity Field on the second, and then my Storm Gust on here, and then LOV the last one. So this is how it looks like in my skill build or skill arrangement, right? So auto, manual, and the rest of here is all manual. Okay, so here we are in free arena, just to show you how my skill arrangement and how usually I do my castings. So simulating that right now, let's say we are in a KVM match. So once I click on all monsters, so my buff will be up, and that's all, nothing else. If let's say I have my sight on, yes, so my buff and my sight will be on. But otherwise, this is what I have, nothing else. I don't even have my energy code on, so when I need it, I just click it because it has a very long cooldown, right? So from here on, what I will do in this sequence, why I do this in this sequence, I will first cast Gravity Field, right? And then followed up by Storm Gust, and then LOV. Okay, so again, Field, Storm Gust, LOV. I can do it simultaneously. You can see that almost immediately once I finish casting LOV, my Gravity Field is up and ready for me to cast again. So this is to deal stun, this is to freeze, and then this is to blind, and also of course to cast to deal damage after the opponent is being frozen. So stun, frozen, damage, stun, frozen, damage. It's just rinse and repeat. And just keep going. So if you realize that after one cycle of casting these three skills, I have a slight moment of waiting period. So usually what I would do is this. Once I cast finish, I will move, cast again, some lag, cast again. If let's say there's a lag, I'll just play around, cast again, and then readjust myself, because in a PvP match, this movement is all over the place. One moment you can be here, one moment you can be on the other side. So this is usually what I do, and this is what I mean by keeping myself in place. So right now I'm not doing anything, my hands are off, my character stays unless I do any adjustment. But if let's say I have AFK selected, but what will happen is this: once I click, it will move to a character. It will cast all the auto skills that I've set in sequence. Oh, and another thing is, I have my skill list in order. So in the times that I need my auto skills to be activated, it will be activated in this order as how I arrange it. Right? So this is something that I need to mention about. This is it. Thank you for watching. This is my PvP build for KVM. Even for GVG, I use this build as well. Right? And of course, take it as a reference. If let's say you want to try my skill build exactly, go ahead, have fun with it. After that, you need to, if you let's say you need to do any changes to it, try it out, try other skills, try the builds until the one that suits your play perfectly. Right? So thank you for watching. See you on the next video.